Good evening, everybody. This is a live session. We are going to, or Elena is going to walk you through the Spark tutorial. Those of you in my section would have already seen the announcement. As I said, the only way you can lose any points on this assignment is if you don't follow the instructions. If you read the instructions properly, carefully, and follow all the steps in the instructions document given to you, you should not have any problems at all. And that has always been our experience. It's usually when the students try to skip a step or two, that they run into trouble. Okay, so in any case, Elena is going to, she's very experienced with this platform. She can quickly troubleshoot all your problems. And Linesh, Elena and Linesh are both very well experienced. They can quickly troubleshoot the problems. So please make sure you post your problems early to the discussion forum. Post a detailed description of the problem, post some screenshots, try to make it as easy as possible for the TAs to understand what is going on, and they can quickly get you back on the cloud. Okay, so let's get started with the Spark tutorial.
Yeah, so I just put together a few slides here. So basically, I think most of you have been doing a good job so far on asking effective questions, but just in case, just a reminder that it's very important to ask questions effectively. So you say what's the expected result, what you're getting instead, and how to reproduce the problem, right? And include the screenshot. That's very important, okay? Next slide is that those are the high-level steps that you need to follow. But the thing what's going on is that there are no ongoing changes to the environment. And the recent change now this allows uploading the data while the notebook is open. This is a recent change, so it was not reflected in the instructions because it happened after the instructions have been released. So let me see, let me go back, let me change, oops, I should not be sharing in my email, oops. Let me go back to the IBM Cloud account. No, not IBM Cloud, sorry, Watson Studio, okay? So I'm gonna go to the projects, view all projects, okay? Well, in this case, I have a lot of projects because I've been doing it for a long time. But in your assignment, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna log into Watson Studio. And at this point, I'm gonna assume that everybody has an active IBM Cloud account, right? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna click on new project. And this is actually one of the recent changes also, because before you could specify the project type. Now you no longer can. You just have to select the new project or import the project from the project sample, right? So in this case, I'm gonna do create an empty project. Well, okay, and let's call it Spark webinar. I hope I don't have, oh, I already have a project with the same name, see this? So let's do this. Let me put it October 2nd, okay? So then here, description is optional. I could add a description. Now what I'm gonna do is, well, I already have the object storage, right? So it's pre-populated in this case, because it's not my first project. I'll keep everything like this and I'm gonna hit create. So what I did was I created an empty project. There is nothing in there, right? What is a project? Let's step back. What is a project? Project is a placeholder where you have all your workbooks, models, and data, right? It's a set of assets, so to speak, that you put together for a specific task, right? So in this case, it's a Spark tutorial. So you've got your data, and you've got your notebooks, right? What you need to do is, first, you're gonna get the data loaded. See this? I'm gonna do this, find and add data. I'm gonna click on browse here, and then I'm gonna need to find where I saved my file is. And in this case, I saved it in here, employee attrition, right? I'm going to click upload. See this? So now it's uploading my file, creating upload successful. What I also want to do is I want to go to assets, and I want to make sure that whatever I uploaded got added to the data assets in here. Well, because see, I want it to be in the project. Done, right? So next step, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a notebook, right? And here, this is very important because it's very easy to mess up. You want to make sure that you select the right environment. So first of all, I have to click on add to project, right? And then here, I pick up a notebook. Now remember that the project, right, it's a placeholder for your assets. In this case, it could be dashboard, it could be model, right? But we're not doing it. We're just doing notebook for right now. Okay, so now there are several ways to add a notebook. You can create a brand new one, or you can add from file, or you can add also from URL, okay? Well, in our case, I'm gonna do from file. And now what I have to do is I have to specify, I have to select what my file is. I don't do anything in here yet. I'll go choose my file, and I save the file on my computer, which is employee attrition. Well, this is a notebook, right? So now what I have to do is, well, notice that the name, notebook name is pre-populated. Well, it's editable. If you want to change it, you can add description. Now here, this is the important step. You have to select the Spark environment, okay? Well, and you also want to make sure that the Spark that you select it's Python. See this? It's this one. You want to select this one. See this? Python XS. Well, for some reason, I see these options in a different order today. See this? They keep on changing the environment at all time. So, but this is what you want. You wanted Spark and you wanted Python, okay? Not just Python, but Spark and Python, okay? Well, it's very important because if you don't select Spark, you're not gonna have that option for the RDD, right? Now here, well, this is what we want to know, this 1.5 capacity unit per hours. You have 50 capacity unit per hours per 50 per calendar months. This here means that if this environment runs for an hour, this is how much capacity unit hours it will consume, right? So I did a little math for you in one of the slides here because one of you brought up that question and I put a little bit of math here. Basically, if it's taken 1.5 CU, if it runs for an hour, then it means you have 33 hours per month, okay? That's what it means. Okay, so now here, the consumption depends on number of executors, the number of RAM, and etc., right? So it's 1.5. So we have to use it wisely, and I'll show you what I mean. So now I'm ready, right? I'm gonna click on create notebook. I'm creating my notebook. Okay, well, notebook consists of the set of cells, right? So see what's going on? It's starting up the environment right now. Instantiating runtime. And if at this stage, if you're getting an error, well, you want to make sure that you're uploading the valid notebook, right? You want to make sure that you did not run out of the hours by then. You want to make sure you don't have anything else running, right? Because when you delete a notebook, you don't necessarily stop the environment, see? you upload the notebook, right? The environment starts. If I go back and delete the notebook, I'm not necessarily stopping an environment, so keep that in mind too. Okay, so see this, it starts in the runtime environment. The notebook is in the edit mode, right? Well, it's still starting. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, well, right now, my environment has started. My clock has started. Okay. The countdown clock. So next step, as you were instructed, is to do this. You go back here, you put a cursor in here. Now, this is a code cell. So the code cell is a cell where it contains executable code. Markdown cells, right? Those are the cells that contain the text, or how do you say it? Explanation of what the code does, etc., right? Well, this is just the text. And here, this is a code cell, right? So you're instructed to place a cursor in here. Now you're opening up the data panel. You go insert to code, and see this here. You have to select insert Spark session data frame. But very important, your data must be uploaded before you're working on the notebook. Well, there was a recent change to the system, and that recent change introduced something, okay? So now, here is the cell, but, well, I think the problem is the browser that I'm using, right? The problem is the browser that I'm using, because it imported everything as a single line. So that's the reason why some of you are getting errors, because this browser, unfortunately, in this browser, it imported everything on a single line. So basically what I have to do is I have to fix it. I have to put everything on a separate line. See that I have to fix the indentation. So some of you, you're getting an error, right? When you're attempting to run the second cell over here, even though you replace the bucket correctly, you're getting an error. It's because it's very picky when it comes to the indentation. See this? Well, you cannot have this. You cannot have it on the same line like this, okay? No, this is a problem with this specific browsers. I see something in the chat, right? Let me see. Come on, how do you open the chat? It won't let me. Okay, more chat. I cannot open the chat window. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, well, this is a problem. See this? You have to have it on a separate line, okay? So it has to be like this, right? Well, this is in this browser, it does not import correctly, okay? So it has to be, everything has to be on a separate line, like this. And then I think it's like this, right? And then it's like this. And well, this should be separated for sure, right? Well, anyhow, once you format it, once you get it right, once in each of these has to be on a separate line. That's the reason some of you could not get it to, some of you are getting errors. Even though you think you did everything right, but you're not because of this. See how it imported all the code on a single line. So that's the reason why you're getting the error messages. And here also you have to rename this. You have to, oops, you have to rename it to this one here. It should be 1, okay? It should be 1. And this one has to be 1 in here too. Well, I thought somebody said something, but I could not open the chat. I cannot open, I tried to open the chat and it won't let me. Let me see, Control H. No, I can't open the chat window this. So I have to wait. Okay, now, see this? Well, you have to fix this. And then this one, this is a, you have the bucket number right here. You have to take the bucket number. And I'm not going to, oops, I'm not going to run the homework for you, but what I'm going to do is show you what you need to do. Well, here, this is the bucket.
Elena?
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Is anybody actually following along and doing this?
No, no, no.
Nobody is doing it?
No, they're not supposed to follow along.
Hmm?
Are they supposed to follow along? They're
No,
not.
no,
Because,
I'm just asking. Maybe they are.
oh, I don't know.
Is anybody
Because,
trying to do this? Are you having any trouble if you are trying to do this along with Elena? Do you have any questions?
because I was trying to focus on showing.
Yeah, I understand.
Uh,
It looks like somebody, let's see, Susan, are you
Yes.
trying to say something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's going a little fast to exactly follow, but the issue that I was having, and I was the one in the chat window, I think it's resolved.
Okay.
But knowing this, how it does it all in one line is a good hint. And I do wonder, which browser are you using?
well, this is IE. That's a problem. But
Okay.
well, yeah. Well, see the slash that probably indicates the line separator. So everything. So this what follows the slash has to be on a new line. Well, that's what I think. It's causing this problem.
Yeah.
Oh, and see there's this dot here.
That's just Python syntax. And the quirky thing with Python is it's very sensitive to tab and location of the line. So I think Elena is right to insist that you should try to write the whole thing out in one sentence and one line. So that's a Python issue, not issue, but a feature which is actually a bug. So
yeah, well, yeah, this is what happened here. Yeah, that was how it inserted in IE. Because when I used the Chrome, it was correct. So yeah, that's the reason why some people are getting this issue. Yeah. Well,
so
in the same.
For Elena, or can she continue? Is this helping?
Yes.
Do you have any questions? Speak up.
This is helping. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Elena. Continue.
See this same thing here. Well, see this is the same thing. After the slash, if you put this piece over here on the same line, you're gonna be getting unexpected behavior, because basically if you put a slash like this, it means that the same command continues on the new line. See this? So that's the reason why some of you were getting errors when you were running the second cell, because you were getting something like COS undefined, right? Is it the error? Yes, and the reason is it because of this cell, okay? Well, just something to keep in mind, that indentation and all of that, it matters, okay? So I could try that. See, when you run in the notebook, you have to start from the top. Well, this cell is not a code cell, so it does not matter. But in general, everything that's a code cell, you have to do it from the top, because it's going to be the case in the next assignment, where at the top you're going to have some packages loaded in memory, right? So if you don't run the top cell, some of your code will not work because it's not going to know what that is, right? See, I got an error. Well, and the reason I got an error because it's because of this. See this? It has to be on the same line. Let me rerun this. Yep, still invalid syntax. Well, it's because the reason why I'm getting this error is because of it's because of this indentation. Okay, it's because of this indentation. I'm getting this error. Could be like this. Anyhow, so what I wanted to do is this: try not to use this browser. Use a different browser. Okay. See this now? It's yelling again about more errors. It's because, yeah. See this? Unexpected after line. Well, see this line, this slash here, it means the line continuation character. See this one? Well, somewhere here. See this? In here, it's yelling about this problem here. Okay. Or what I could try to do is this. I can try to delete this and try it like that too. Let's see if it does it. No, unexpected. Line continuation. So basically, well, this is the reason why some of you were getting problems. It's because of this. See this? It's because of this. So you want to make sure that you're not using this browser, okay? Okay, so let me open up another. Well, first of all, let's do this. I'm going to close this out, right? I'm going to close this out. Exit the notebook. Now what else I have to do is I have to stop the environment, right? Because I have the environment running. See this? I have not done much, but I'm already consumed 0.3. There is more than one way to stop an environment. At the moment, I know that I'm working in this project, and this is my environment in the project. I'll just go ahead and stop this, right? I can do that way. But if I was not sure which project is my environment running in, I could go in here, and I go to environmental runtime, and here, well, this will show me anything that I have running at the moment, and the project is in, okay? I have not done much, and I already burned 0.3. So let me go back to other project where I imported that notebook while I was using a different browser. And I think it's here. This one I was checking what was going on. Well, some of you reported issues. I was checking what was going on. So here it is. This is a notebook. I have to click on this pencil to open it in the edit mode, right? This is how you return to the notebook that you used before. You have to click on this pencil, and now we'll see the correct syntax. Hopefully, I still keep the credentials here. So now, see this, the environment starting, and I believe I may have added the credentials here. So as I said, a lot of you are getting this error. It's because the cell above did not run. You have to make sure, well, you're not only adding the credentials, you need to run the code in a cell where you added the credentials. That's one part. Another part is that indentation. Because I saw the screenshot that one of you uploaded. I'm like, what is that? Why all this code is on the same line? Because whenever you see that slash, it's a line continuation character, and then it has to be indented from there. Wait, let's start in now, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But don't do this, like start, stop. Do not do this, because you could start even more processes and cause more problems. And also remember, if you delete the notebook, you're not necessarily stopping the environment. Okay, well here, oh, wait a minute, it's not done in here. No luck, right? But let's see if I do it here. Let's see if it does this. If it's not, then I would have to, if it's not, then I would have to switch to another browser. Yeah, he did not do what I wanted to. But let me see if I just run it. Let's see, I'm gonna just run it and see what happens. Huh? Okay. See that nothing happened. I'm reproducing the errors that you guys are getting. See this? So now I'm gonna run and I'm gonna get an error. It's because of that indentation. So I'm gonna go now and change the bucket, but I'm gonna get an error. Do you know why? It's because of this thing here. I would have to run this notebook in a different browser, then everything is fine. Okay, so IE is a bad idea, okay? Apparently. Okay, let's see if it does it. Probably not. Yep, I'm getting your error, same error that you got. It's because, well, the problem is this. Let's see. Yep, because the problem is it never executed this block of code. It never executed this block of code because of the how it is. See this? It's all on the same line. It's not supposed to be like this, so this is a problem, okay? Most of you are getting this, and I reproduced it, okay? So I guess with that being said, let's do this. Let me exit this, leave, and I'm gonna stop the environment, and then I'm gonna use a different browser, and you will see it. Well, the browser matters, but I reproduce the errors that you were getting, right? So let me go back in here, and then let me stop this environment. I stopped this, so now I don't have anything running, right? And I'm going to log in another browser. I have no choice. Google Chrome. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Google Chrome browser. It's one of my favorite browsers, actually. Go Control V, data platform. Okay, now I'm gonna do login, right? And I put my IBM Cloud account, which is okay, and I'm gonna do, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to log in now. Okay, when it does this, I hate when it does it. You just say never. You do not want to save the password in your browser because it could cause numerous problems. Okay, so I'm here now. Well, what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to return to that project. This is projects, view all projects, right? So this is the one I created today. I'm going to fix now. Okay, so here it is. Now I don't have any environment running, which is expected. I'm gonna back to assets. I'm going to open this notebook in edit mode, right? And let's see. Probably I'll have to take that cell, delete everything, and redo the credentials. Let's see what happens. Well, hopefully this is not gonna do what the other browser did. Okay, so here it is. I'm gonna just delete this. Now I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna redo this. Insert Spark session data frame. See this? This is correct. Now it's going to work. And what I have to do is I have to change this to 1 also, right? Well, this is in the instructions. I'm changing it to 1 because that's how this is called in the rest of the code. Now what else I'm going to do is this. Watch, since I edited the code, you want to do this. You want to do restart and clear output. I want to clear all the output, and I'm gonna do this. Restart and clear output. Whenever you edit the code, you want to do this, okay? I'm not going to run the whole notebook for you, but I'm showing you why you were getting an error, and I reproduce the error. It's because Python is very sensitive to indentation. R is not, but Python is. So guess what I like more? Of course, R. Anyways, okay, so here we have to do the bucket also, right? This one here, Control C. Okay. Yes, oh, it's already done. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this, right? Well, this cell here, this is a markdown cell. Remember it, and it has a table of contents, right? So let's run this one. Run this, nothing's gonna happen. Now it's gonna show the Spark version, right? And this is 2.3 something. Okay, now this is also the markdown cell. Now the fun starts. I'm going to load data, right? And this is a proof of concept part, just to show you that things are working. Okay. So what it's doing here is that, well, here this block is the credentials. Then it's trying to define both. There's gonna be RDD and a data frame, right? You're gonna be doing operations on both. So you see this little star means it was still executing. Now you want to see this, okay? This is a good indication, okay? Before I did not see this, which was bad indication. This is good indication, okay? It means that that cell ran. I continue. Now let's see, proof of concept. There we go. Well, okay, everything is working. And why do you think everything is working right now? What did I do differently? Think about it. Number one, I uploaded the data set first, okay? Well, this is new. Before it was not an issue, now it is apparently. Then I wanted to make sure that the indentation is correct. Oh yes, well, this is very important. If all your code is in a single line, this is a problem because this slash here, this is a what do you call it, line continuation, and this indentation, it matters. So in the Chrome browser, it does this correctly. In the IE, it's not apparently. So try using a different browser. All right, so here basically it's reading the CSV file. Header true means that you want to read the column headings from the file. A take 5 will display the first 5 rows, right? Basically what you have to do is you continue. You need to do all of the exercises, right? But if you go down here, remember that the one here, I think, well, first of all, first you are getting the, see this example? It shows you average satisfaction for each department per salary level, right? And then see this dot show because you want to output the result. Basically, what you have to do is you're going to write a query, right? What is doing in there. And then you also going to, oh, it's exercise 6 actually. I meant to talk about the exercise 6. Here, well, it says you need to write a Spark SQL to return. Column 1 is a salary level, and this is number of employee with each salary level in column 1, right? So that's basically, it's similar to exercise above, but the difference is that different grouping column, right? And also, you want to make sure that you do this. See this? You also need to print the output like it's doing here. You're not asked to do the plot, but you're asked to do the output. See this? Like here, it's doing the query, and then it's also doing the output, right? It's printing. So this is what you need to do, right? And then also for this ones, you should try it. You should try the ungraded exercises. Well, if you don't get it right, it's fine, but I want you to try, especially things where you have more than one grouping column, okay? Sometimes you have more than one grouping columns, which is what this one says. You're gonna be grouping by department name and by salary level and by iteration. So there are 3 grouping columns, okay? So this is fun. This is fun, and make sure, do not forget to ask for solutions to these ungraded exercises after the work is graded. Make sure to ask for the answer for these 3. And you actually may discuss the 3 in a discussion. These 3 guys can be discussed, okay? Because this is to try, those are more advanced, okay? Well, do we have questions? Do we have questions? Gapochi, are there any questions in the discussion, in the chat? Because I cannot see the chat. No?
Okay, let's see if anybody has any questions.
There's one in the chat. Says, so how often do the capacity hours get renewed? Monthly? Notice my account got updated back to 50 hours. Is there any worry in the future that we may not have enough to complete a project?
Okay. the hours get updated monthly, right? Well, I don't recall which time zone it goes by, but somebody like in the evening of the 30th, yes, they were back to 50. Uh, well, if you run out, I'll tell you what to do, but make sure it does not happen, okay? There is a workaround, but make sure it does not happen. Because if you have to go with a workaround, you might end up redoing some work. But, well, take a look at it this way. It's 30, if it's 1.5 capacity unit hours, it's 33 actual hours, right? So this is like what, like 4 work days? It's like you're working 4 8-hour days, right? Do you think the homework is gonna be this heavy? Are you going to be working on this assignment for the 4 work days? Probably not. But what you need to do is you need to work wisely. You only start the kernel when you're ready to run the notebook, right? And you have to stop whenever you're not doing it. Like now, I'm done, right? I'm gonna do the stop kernel, and I'm not gonna be consuming the hours. I'm gonna shut down. Well, that's it. I'm not using the hours. You only run it when you use it, when you only, use it as you need to use it. Well, if it happens, when it comes to it, we'll talk. But I remember from last semester, people usually use like no more than 5 or 10 hours for this. Yeah.
Okay. So, Nick, and I mean, everybody, the question is there any worry in the future that we may not have enough to complete a project? And the answer to that question is yes. If you forget to shut off the kernel, you will very quickly run out of hours. And it is not just your student account, it's not just for this project. Even if you are working for, let's say, a Fortune 5 company that has an IBM subscription or Azure subscription, it is the same problem that you will be facing. Okay, usually you have a subscription to the service, and if you forget to shut down the kernel, if you forget to turn off before you log out, you are going to accumulate cost, and yes, that can happen. So as Elena said, just make sure you shut down the kernel. It can get very hairy, very difficult very soon if you don't do that. Okay, so just remember that we had this issue last semester too with some students, and make sure you track the hours as you are required to do in assignment 2. Okay, both assignment 2 and 3. We have that correct, Elena? Can you?
Yeah.
It's part of your assignment.
Yes.
You need to go look at the number of remaining hours, and you need to record that. And when we grade your assignment, we're gonna put a lot of weight on it to see if you actually recorded the hours or not. So all of this is to make sure that you are able to complete your project. Okay, so this is not a trick. It's reality. Okay, IBM Watson, as you know, is a $1 billion project. They make money out of this, and you are getting free accounts. So there is no free lunch. If you run out of your hours, that's it. So please be very, very careful and track your hours. Shut down the kernel before you log out. The next thing I want to say is when you are doing this Spark tutorial, as Elena said, Linesh said, the Spark tutorial itself is very simple. It's a very simple assignment, but the next assignment that is going to come up depends very much on what you learn, what you truly learn by doing this Spark tutorial. Okay, so you need to understand the code in every cell. I'm not trying to give away the answer, but I'm trying to give you a hint. There are some cells that have some codes, that have some code in this Spark tutorial, and you will find very similar code in future assignment. And if you don't know what that code did in the Spark tutorial, you are going to make mistake in future assignments. Okay, this is exactly how people lose points. Okay, when it comes to assignment 2 and 3. So please, go ahead and mess with the code. Change some variables. Try to understand. Try to break the code and see why it didn't work. Okay. Try to understand the order in which the output is printed out. Okay, try to manipulate the variables and look at the actual values. So try lots of different things like that, so that you have a good understanding of exactly what the code does. And as Elena said, it's really worth trying out the ungraded exercises, because even though they are not graded in Spark tutorial, they will help you tremendously in executing the next assignment. Okay, so let me stop there and let's see if there are any more questions. Linesh, do you want
Add something here,
Yeah.
Gopali, that I think this notebooks also have got really good documentation. I mean, besides just executing the cells and going through the code, also read through this documentation, spend some time on it, because they've really put up something really good, informative, things here that you would want to know, especially what the technology is and what it is doing. So read through that.
Okay. So, and again, we are here to help you. So the minute you encounter an issue, just, post something in the discussion. And Elena's went through the steps that will ensure that your post is informative to us. So make it very, make it as clear as possible. Attach some screenshots. So all that helps. Okay, and it's not an exaggeration. I once spent more than 3 days of continuous responses to questions from a student, almost every 15 minutes, and at the end it's really didn't help, because there was this major disconnect. So it's very, very important on how you state the problem. So capture the, get a screenshot and post it, and try to be very precise in stating the problem, but do it as early as possible. All right, are there any more questions? Do you see anything in the chat? Ungraded exercise 3. How can you use multiple count functions?
You can. Yeah, you can. Well,
Yeah.
it's possible to have more than one aggregate columns in a select clause of the query. It could be sum, you can do count, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do that. Why not?
So David is very similar to SQL query, right?
Yeah.
They select sum of column 1, sum of column 2,
Yeah.
count of column 3, max of column 4, group by column 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can do it the same way.
Yeah, but you don't need to do the subqueries here, because basically, secretly, let the believe it's 1, right? Or state, let me see. Because if you look at this the explanation, well, in this case, you don't even need to use a case statement either, because if you look at it this way, okay, 1 is left, right, and 0 is state. So if I take the sum of the column, right, it will give me number of people who left, and the number of people who stayed is the total count minus sum of people who left. So this is, I can easily get number of people who left, because if left, attrition equals 1, I can take the sum, right? And then if I take the count, right, if I get the count on this field, then I'm gonna get the total number of employees. So if I know the total and if I know the number who left, right, then I can get the state. It's possible to have more than one aggregate column in the select statement of the query. Yes, and in your next assignment, on the assignment 3, there is some good news. The good news is that DB2 does not consume the capacity hours. So you're gonna have like 10 ungraded SQL exercises. And we're gonna have a session and I'll show you more on how to do this stuff, the aggregations and multiple columns and etc. The subqueries. So you'll have more practice with this, but yes, it's possible to do more than one aggregate function in a select clause. Okay?
Okay, are there any more questions?
That's the reason why that exercise is ungraded, because it's not simple.
Linesh, you need to add something? You want to add something?
No, I think we're good. I don't see in the chat room as well. So
Okay.
But yeah,
Thanks,
RStudio
Elena.
takes RStudio takes CU, but not DB2. That's the thing.
okay.
Great.
All
Thanks.
right. Good night, everyone.
Anything else?
Thanks, Elena. And thanks, Linesh.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Thanks, everyone. Good night, class.
Good
I'll
night.
stop the recording. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.